You're also on the web, KJ Radio, and a syndicated radio talk show host. How often is your program appearing?
It appears every day, 2 hours a day. And again, we talk about issues from a pragmatic and probably an irreverent point of view. The show's more humor-based, but it certainly tackles tough issues. But if there is one issue that I want to cover that is most important to us, it's seeking educational excellence, where we want to get young minorities, people of all colors, quite frankly, looking at the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math curriculum versus the social justice agenda, which is being taught in colleges. And we are exporting what I consider to be the worst of America by talking about social justice issues versus educating our children. And it's funny to me, Steve, when we look at these types of issues, and I'll use the minimum wage as an example. The left does not look, they don't hold any countries like any African countries or Middle Eastern countries to a minimum wage, standard, or a fair wage, a livable wage. There are even people in this country that are talking about having a birthright wage. Not talked about in any country again in Africa or the Middle East. All the things that they talk about for America are things that leftists would never ask to be implemented in countries like Africa. When we look at social justice, again, we look at the diversity that we have to have in everything in America. Look at the homogeneity of African countries or Middle Eastern countries or Central American countries. And then talk to me about how diverse the United States needs to be. The United States is not ruled by whites. It's a very much a heterogeneous society. But you look at countries in Africa that are 95% African or of the native people, and Democrats never complain about diversity there. So it's a double standard that America shouldn't have to deal with. And so when we look at college and education, we're seeing that we're teaching kids the wrong things. Instead of teaching them things that are going to give them careers, we're teaching them things that, quite frankly, contribute nothing to the fabric of a country that has embraced every culture, race, creed, gender, you name it. So that's really the passion of our organization, the Black Sphere, which seeking educational excellence is one of the divisions underneath that.
And one of the websites, kjradio.com, our conversation with Kevin Jackson. He is joining us from Phoenix on this Sunday. We'll get to your calls in just a moment. Our phone line